Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel. I'm here to talk about Legends of Tomorrow, episode 106, titled Star City 2046, which premiered Thursday, February 25th, 2016 on the CW. And guys, sorry for the delay. I'm trying to catch up as quickly as I can. But, quick reminder, I have not read any comics, so anything I know is what I see on the show, as well as in Arrow and The Flash. So let's get right into it, because this is an exciting episode. 10-minute clock started. Let's begin. So what is something new that we learned in this episode? So, as the title states, we are in Star City in 2046 after the ship crashed after an attack from Cronus. So, essentially, they figure out that they're in a version of the future, and their first priority is to fix the ship. So basically, another team split up. This time, we have one team that stays behind on the ship, and that is Ray, Kendra, Professor Stein, and Jax, and they are trying to repair different parts of the ship. With them, we get a few little crushes going on between Jax crushing on Kendra, but thinking Ray is competition, and then Professor Stein is trying to figure out if Ray has feelings for Kendra, only to then have him start thinking about Kendra that way, then he tries to ask her out, just as Jax was about to ask her out, but Kendra turns her down because of the whole fact that Carter was supposed to be her soulmate, and she's this Egyptian priestess, and so that was shut down very quickly. So there was a lot to take in for them, for sure. Now the other team, which includes Sarah, Rip Hunter, Captain Cold, and Heatwave, they are meant to go into the city and try to go to Smoke Technologies, formerly Palmer Tech, to get what Ray believes should be a prototype for the type of technology they need to get Gideon up and running. However, they get split off. And they actually run into a brand new character who Sarah believes is part of her present day, their past, and she goes finding them. However, Captain Cold and Heatwave get sucked into the criminal lifestyle, as they are the top dogs in the city, and Heatwave is loving this new future, while Captain Cold's not really too fond of it. He just wants to get out and go. But moving on, we do see new characters in this episode. We see another person take on the Green Arrow role, as well as another person taking on the Deathstroke role. As you can say, meet the next generation, people. We have John Diggle Jr. taking on the Green Arrow role, aka Connor Hawk, because of the fact he believes that because he couldn't save his father, he doesn't deserve to have his father's name, so he goes by the alias Connor Hawk. And then you get Deathstroke's son himself, Grant Wilson, who's probably just as crazy as his father, yet with both eyes intact. So it's just like shivers down my spine. He basically took over the city. I'll put it like that. So timeline wise, we learned that obviously 2046. This is 30 years from when Rip Hunter came and recruited Sarah and Ray Palmer to go on this time crusade. 15 years later, so 15 years ago, in 2031, an uprising happened in Star City, which was brought on by Deathstroke's men, Grant Wilson, bringing an army with him and taking over the city. Also, Grant Wilson outed Oliver as the Green Arrow, and he cut off Oliver's left arm. And since the start of the uprising, no one has seen Oliver Queen, so they all believed he was dead. Everyone associated either died or they are just gone once the uprising started. Confirmed deaths that we had were Captain Lance and John Diggle. Unknown fates are Felicity, Laurel, and Thea. They just say that they are just gone. So moving to the most shocking moment of the episode, it has to be the state of Oliver Queen that we get to see. I mean, based off the synopsis, I knew we were going to see Oliver because Stephen Amell was meant to be a special guest star, but I did not expect to see Oliver the way that we got him at all. Sure, he's supposed to be in his 60s, a little old Oliver wear and tear, but the fact that he lost his left arm, he's like half the man he used to be, no pun intended, but like he's felt so broken, and he's basically a recluse hiding out in the destroyed Arrow Cave. So it's like, my goodness, like, what the hell happened in the last 30 years, especially the last 15 years that led him to this state. It was so heartbreaking to see Oliver like that. But top 3 favorite moments, though, of this episode is the fact that Oliver gets back under the hood and he takes on Deathstroke Jr., and he had his own little new bionic arm to help him out, and you would not think that it was a 60-year-old vigilante underneath that hood at all. With his fight skills were on point. He was fierce. It was like he got back on riding a bike. He never forgot how to do it, and it was just fantastic, and I love it for sure. Next favorite moment has to be Oliver and Connor Hawke. The thing that I noticed about was that Oliver purposefully calls Connor John. He doesn't use the code name or the alias that he goes by. He purposely calls him John. And I really like that. And also, when Connor first sees Oliver for the first time in that cave, on his face you can see that he is shocked. Like, I'm guessing, since he is Diggle's son, I'm assuming, if anything, that Oliver may have been granted the Godfather title. I'm assuming that Oliver was baby Sarah's godfather, although no mention of her whatsoever was in this episode. So the fact that Connor believed that Oliver was dead for 15 years, only to find out that he's actually here and in this state, you could truly see the shock. You could see that a little bit of anger as well, because of the fact that Oliver left and Connor had to pick up the pieces and take on that role that he left behind. I don't know, I just really like the dynamic, and by the end of it, they were both accepting to be partners with each other and donning the green hood together and trying to save the city, and I've really, really, really liked that for sure. It's kind of like the present generation for us meeting the next generation that is the future with Connor, so it's great. Next favorite moment has to be Captain Cold wanting to save Rip Hunter and Sarah from Deathstroke and his men. Instead of reveling in the criminal lifestyle that Heatwave was doing, Captain Cold wanted to get back and help his teammates. And I really like that. I definitely like how his character is progressing, for sure. He's definitely more than just a harebrained criminal, for sure. Not just out for the final score like we were led to believe. So there's that. Another favorite moment has to be that the telepathic connection, or the psychic connection between Professor Stein and Jax, Firestorm, was brought up again in this episode. It was actually more prominent, I guess you could say, and I really like they touched up on that, because they did so briefly in the previous episode when Jax was able to cut out a message in his arm so that it would pass over to Professor Stein's arm, just like how it was done over on The Flash in Season 1 with Ronnie and Professor Stein when they first were separated from within the Firestorm Matrix. So I really like that they brought it up, they brought emphasis to it, and they kind of further explained what type of connection this Firestorm has. Okay, so top 3 peeved moments. I only have one, really, and it's the fact that there is no acknowledgement between Oliver and Firestorm. Throughout the episode, we have Oliver acknowledging Sarah. At the end of the episode, we have him acknowledging Ray Palmer. We also have him acknowledging Kendra, but there is no acknowledgement of Firestorm. Sure, Jax is now the physical embodiment of Firestorm, while the last time Oliver saw Firestorm was Ronnie Raymond as the body of Firestorm. But like Professor Stein, Oliver knows Professor Stein because of the inner mind of Firestorm. So it's like there should have been some type of acknowledgement, or the fact that they should have made a reference to the fact that there's now a different guy in control of the Firestorm stuff, considering that Steven and Robbie are cousins. I really wanted that type of recognition. The fact that we didn't get it was kind of disappointing. But that was just pretty much it. But what will I remember most about this episode? Future Oliver, for sure. I mean, you can't unsee what type of state his potential future could be. I'm so glad that it's not a set future for Oliver. That'd be so heartbreaking. But to see what it could be was definitely devastating, for sure. Plus, it was really well done how they made Stephen Amell into an aged version of himself, instead of just casting another actor to play the older version of his character. So I really like that. Random questions, quickly. First, what happened to Connor's older sister Sarah, like I mentioned before, or even his mother Lila? They were never mentioned. All we know is that John Diggle was dead, the father. And Connor felt like he had an obligation to stay behind. At least that was my impression, to try to save the city. So there's no mention of his older sister Sarah. There's no mention of Connor Hawke even recognizing the name Sarah Lance, because at some point you would think that he would have found out that, okay, my older sister is named after this woman, so he should have known some story behind that, but there's nothing. And there's the timer. Next question, though, the last one. Do you think Heatwave will come around to thinking of himself as being part of this team, kind of like how Captain Cold seems to have done so? Or would he still think like it's just a job and he's kind of just in it for the score and all that? So there's that. So based on predictions, though, for next week, off the promo for episode 107, we see apparently it's Time Pirates in Space. And the fact that McRory, Heatwave, is going to go after Rip Hunter. And apparently he's making the ultimatum that only one of them is coming out of it alive. So that's a little unnerving. But based off of the synopsis for the episode, it seems that it's a distressed time ship calls for help from space, and yet it turns out to be a trap, which is the whole pirate theme. So that should be interesting in itself. That's kind of like many different themes rolled into one. So I don't even know what to make of that, but let's see what happens with that. And that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? Was it what you expected, especially with the future of Star City at its probably lowest? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it, as well as your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about it, or what's to come for the remaining episodes of Legends of Tomorrow. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. Also, check out my Tumblr page. I try to, I'm a little bit behind this week on updating the pages, but that's where you can find any news about promos, web clips, sneak peeks, synopses, quotes, GIFs, connecting GIFs with the other two series in the universe, stuff like that. Link for those Tumblr links will be down below in the box. Usually anything that comes across my dashboard that's Legends related, I will reblog it, so simplifying for you guys there. That's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'm so sorry for the delay for anything TV related this week for me. I truly apologize about that. I hate it as is. But thank you for just tuning in, and hopefully I'll get back to normal schedule next week at least. And yes, so I hope you guys come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.